welcome to this latest episode of Extra Butter. I'm Eddie,
And I'm Tammy.
and this also happens to be our second episode in our very special K-pop comeback series. I'm so excited. Be sure to check out our first episode featuring iKON Treasure and P1 Harmony. Got the name right. Um, and throughout this series, we will be featuring our thoughts on the latest comebacks and releases from some of our other favorite groups, including BTS, J-Hope, Monsta X, just to name a few. Today's episode, we are going to focus on the girls coming for that K-pop throne. Aespa, Itzy, Purple Kiss, La Sserafim. And I know some of you are asking, well, what? Where the hell is Blackpink? That is a question we're all asking. They're supposed to be having their comeback later, so we may do something for them specifically, but their comeback is after this series is being released. And Tammy, on a side note, I will have to finally admit, if I'm being honest with myself, somehow I have become a Blackpink fan. Not a Blink, but
Oh shit!
not a Blink. But I actually, once I thought about it, I actually do like Blackpink. Um, I can't say I'm a fan of all of the personalities in the group, but I do like the music. So yeah, that it hurt my heart to say that, but I had to be honest. So
I
um,
love hearing it.
yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, they do good music, and I loved Rose. I love the side stuff from Rose and Lisa. All right, so let's focus on what we're here to talk about today. For these groups. Also, if I'm being honest, one other thing, I have had a hard time aside from Blackpink, and I think that's why I had to be honest and admit that I like them finding girl groups that I liked as much as the guy groups. And I'm proud to say that I have that it is slowly but surely started to happen. Maybe it's because Blackpink has been on hiatus and I've actually had a chance to focus on some other groups. So I'm excited about that because I felt kind of bad as a woman being like, damn, I can't find one female K-pop group that I like. So um, I have found some groups that I like. So let's get this started with La Sserafim, who is the newest, one of the newest groups on HYBE. We know that HYBE has had a troubled history with girl groups, big hit. So I hope that this works out better for them. La Sserafim released in May their a 5-track EP called Fearless. It runs at about 14 minutes. Um, what did you think of La Sserafim?
Um, ooh,
Damn,
uh,
that bad?
no. So I will say, and I've said this before. Like I said this in our first comeback episode of the week. If you haven't listened to it already, please go back and listen to that episode. That I'm not really necessarily a fan of title tracks, but sometimes title tracks really get me to listen to the rest of the album. It catches my attention. So I will say for them, the song that stood out for me the most was Fearless. But I think it's partly because of their performance. I really, really like their performance of it. Taking away all the drama and the scandal and everything like that kind of plagued them when they first debuted or before they debuted as well. Their title track really caught me. I really liked it. I thought it was a great debut song that they did and performed as well. Really great performances that they had. The overall album was a hit or miss for me. I know that HYBE has this thing of and I won't, you know what? I won't even say like necessarily HYBE because this is Source Music, but certain labels under HYBE, they do these talking tracks. I hate the talking tracks. Hate the talking tracks. So if I take that out, it's really only 4 songs. And it was okay. It was a good first album. It's a really good first album for them. It kind of gets you to know what kind of talent they have. But it's hit or miss for me overall. It's really a hit or miss album for me overall. Didn't necessarily make me a fan of the group.
Okay. I think I may have liked it just a smidge better than you did. I'm glad that Big Hit, Hybe, Source, whatever you want to call them, actually has a girl group that is lasting this long. That made it past this and the scandal, you know. But besides that, you put them on the list. I really didn't care one way or the other. I didn't go back and watch any of the videos or the performances or anything like that. But I was actually pleasantly surprised by this. It was 14 minutes that I was glad to give away. It's not like they were the longest 14 minutes of my life. I actually liked the talking track, I guess, compared to ENHYPEN. ENHYPEN should probably take notes. This one was better as far as talking tracks go than what I'm used to from ENHYPEN. But yeah, usually there's something that I will definitely skip. They are kind of pointless, but this was one of the better ones. Um, I liked Fearless. I think it did a lot. On our last episode, we were talking about voices. I think it did a lot to showcase their voice. I noticed that they actually have some nice voices within the group. I loved Blue Flame. It kind of had this old school 70s soul disco vibe to it. I just kind of closed my eyes and saw myself like roller skating to it, in the skating rink. Took me back. So I liked Blue Flame. The Great Mermaid, horrible, horrible title for a song, but actually have some pretty good lyrics and good meaning. It's about not falling into that just love for love's sake type thing. So, but I hate the title. Sour Grapes was a slower joint, and it was pretty decent. And I'm gonna agree with you. It was okay. It was decent for a debut. Um, I can't say I'm a fan. I can't say I'm not a fan. I will say that I will keep an ear open for La Sserafim. But they haven't automatically made it to the point where, ooh, La Sserafim's coming out. I gotta listen just because I like the group. They don't have that status yet. But like I said, I'm not totally off of them. They're not on that, oh, never ever again list unless it's by accident either. So I will keep an ear out and see what else is to come from them. Um, so, what did you rate La Seraphim?
I rated their debut album Fearless 2.5 popcorns. I think they did a great job on their debut. I like that they were able to stay focused with all the drama that was going on when they had to go from 6 members to 5 members. The other members really stepped up to kind of take over the role of that one member that was ultimately expelled from the group. So, 2.5 popcorns. I think they did a great job for their debut album. What about you?
Yeah. I gave it a 2.75, like you said. I gave it I I think they did a good job. It was a decent job. Like I said, my ears are open for the Seraphim. So I can say that I will probably listen to them again, but they haven't just made it onto my radar where they're a must listen. Now, one group that I can say, speaking on the Hybe trip, that I hate that they hadn't come out by the time we're recording this series is New Jeans. I'm interested in them. Like I wanted them on the list, and it's just like, oh, they're not going to be out just yet. I love the videos that I've seen from them so far. They're also with Hybe, so that's why I just brought that up. So I'm definitely New Jeans is definitely on my radar. So yeah, looking out for them. Okay, so our next group is a group that's been around. And a group that I have come to gain more respect for here recently, and that is Aespa. And they released Girls, their second mini album came out in July. This is a full length album. I don't know why they called it a mini album, but it has 9 songs and it's about 30 minutes long. And so, are you an Aespa fan?
No.
No. Okay. Did you like the album? So, what did you think of Girls?
I am not an Aespa fan. I don't like their sound. I don't know. I kind of feel like they're knockoffs, so I can't give them the full attention that I would if they hadn't been hyped up so much. The more a group is hyped up when they first come out, the less likely I am to really give them the attention and to focus on them. There were some songs that I really did like. At least half the songs on this album I actually liked. Life's Too Short, really liked it. I See You, I thought it was really cute. Forever sticks into my head. It's an emotional song. I really, really like it. I like the harmony of it. But the song, which is crazy, that really made me change my mind about their vocals, because when I was listening to the songs, I was just like, their vocals ain't that strong. Like, you can hear the cracks. Like, I'm not feeling it. But when I heard Dreams Come True, I feel like that's where they really showed their strong vocals and that they can actually sing, although they don't ever sing live, but where they can actually sing. But I didn't hear anything special overall for the album compared to any other group. Like, they didn't stand out to me compared to these other groups that we're going to be reviewing. You know, I do want to say, like, unlike you, I do have like some girl groups that I'm absolutely fans of. My favorite group is Mamamoo, because of their strong vocals. So I think I sometimes judge these groups based on Mamamoo's vocals, which is very unfair because they're on a whole nother level when it comes to singing. But I love that they do have some strong vocals that they finally showed. So they were good, but I'll be honest, at the end of listening to their album, still not feeling them, still not a fan, don't see myself listening to anything else that they put out.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes, and especially in K-pop world, with the fandoms being as, I'm not gonna say toxic, they're not all toxic, but
Majority of them are.
But being as of the moment as they are, like everything their group put out is the best thing ever. Sometimes it's hard to really get past that noise, and sometimes it is annoying. So Aespa was one of those groups to me that I was just like, whatever. Um, and some of the other stuff that I had heard had never been anything that made me, just like you said, that just made them stand out to me. And especially if some of these groups, the first time I'll see them or hear them is on YouTube or a clip on YouTube or something like that. And we've talked about before, the stick figure hand dancing, it doesn't do it for me. And it's a shame. A lot of these groups can, and a lot of these girls can actually dance, but they get stuck in that, formulaic girl dancing thing. And that drives me crazy. So Espa was one of those groups that I actually had to turn off the TV and just listen to, and I actually gained a better appreciation for them. I became a bigger fan. I can't say I'm still 100% sold, but I am a bigger fan than what I was. And I like the lead off. I love the girls. It's a great workout track. You could put it, a lot of this I could put on a workout playlist and be good. Um, so I liked Girls. Is a great lead off. Illusion was okay. I like the video for Illusion. Illusion was pretty cool. Lingo had some different flavors and layers to it. I liked it, and it seemed like there was a little country synth, like a banjo or harmonica or something underlying it. So that kind of that kind of drew me in. Lyrically wasn't necessarily the best song. Vocally wasn't necessarily the best, but I loved the musicality of the song, instruments and all that, and just the little layers it had. I liked Life's Too Short, both versions, and the English version was good. You understood the words or you got the full meaning of the song, but I liked both versions of that. You're right. I See You is cute. One of the songs that I liked the least is probably one of the most popular off the album. I think maybe because it was released first was Black Mamba. I love the whole idea of the Black Mamba and, just all of that. Shout out Kobe Mamba. But the song here, it was just okay. Forever was the OST submission song from this group, for me. And Dreams Come True. This is a weird song for me. It starts off as a nightmare, and it was a song where I was immediately going to be like, nope, nope, nope. But as it started playing more, it's one of those songs that starts off one way and it evolves into something different. So the more I listen to the song, I like it. I don't like the beginning of the song though, so I can't. But I do agree with you that it does show their potential as vocalists. It's just the beginning. It's a weird song for me. So yeah, I don't know what to do with Espa Girls. I really don't. How did you rate it?
The album, if I take out the image, with just the album Girls, I gave it 3 popcorns. I think it's a really, really good K-pop album. Like, I think they did a phenomenal job for the genre that it is. They really did. So I gave it 3 popcorns. What about you?
I was the same. I was torn. This is one of those ones where I was like 2.75, 3. But I gave it a 3. And I remember, I think this is the group where I texted you and I said, if you turn off if is this the one where I texted you and I said I turned off the music, I turned off the
The
TV,
TV,
and I
yes.
actually liked S and I actually found S and I actually think I like Aespa.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I after I said that, I really wanted to like the album, I guess, more than I did. But a 3, like you said, it's good for what it was, and it is a good K-pop album. Um, and again, I think a lot of these groups, I understand music industry, and we want to go with trends, and we want to go with what sells. But I'm one of those who I don't need 50 million copycats. I don't need another Blackpink. I don't need you to try to be another Blackpink. I understand that, like I said, there are trends, and everyone, while those trends are in, people are going to follow those trends. But take them, remix them, make them your own. So, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 popcorns for me. But yeah, but I would listen to more Espa. Am I interested in necessarily going back and diving into their catalog? No, not necessarily. But from this point on, I will be more willing to give them a listen. Um, okay, so that leads us to Itzy, Checkmate, 7 songs, 20 minutes, also released July. What was your opinion of Checkmate?
Um, so first I want to say I really love the empowerment message that Itzy gives off. There is always a message of empowerment and independence and womanhood in their singles. It is a concept that they have been on or they've sold since their debut, and I think they do a phenomenal job of selling that concept, whether they truly believe it or not. Um, they're part of JYPE. So for Itzy, their Checkmate, I like the live version of their title track rather than just listening it to on the CD. When I listened to it on the CD, I wasn't really feeling it. But when I saw them actually perform it, and then I saw a live version with them just singing live, no dancing, nothing, just them singing live, and I was just like, oh, okay. They made me like the song once I saw them sing it live.
What was his title track? Sneakers?
Sneakers, yeah.
Okay.
So when they sang it live with no dancing or nothing, none of the theatrics, just them and the mic, like, I think they did a phenomenal job of that. Made me really like the title track because it shows their talent way more than this CD does. I don't think this CD shows the talent of Itzy, whether it's dancing, because they have some of the best dancers in K-pop, whether it's rap or whether it's vocals. I don't think this album really showcased their talent. I've seen better performances from them with a CD. Racer, it really showcased their rap line. I think they have one of the strongest female rap lines in K-pop. So it showed their rap line. It sounds very NCT. I don't know if it's maybe because NCT has a very distinct sound. So whenever I hear a song that kind of gives me a vibe of it, I just automatically say, oh, it sounds very NCT, because they're the ones that I always connect with that type of sound and vibe. But I think Racer should have been their title track. I think it had more potential to be their title track than Sneakers. Although Sneakers is going to be very successful. They've already won awards for it. The other ones, there was nothing special. It was typical girl group songs, but I did like Domino. I really did like Domino. I thought that was a really, really good song. They sound good for K-pop, but I feel like the special vibe is missing in this. Like, I liked Itzy because they came out with one song called Wanna Be, and they did the English version, the Japanese version, and the Korean version. And I liked all three versions. Like, I love that song. So I was expecting a lot. They didn't live up to the potential that, or the standards that, the expectation, sorry, that I had for them. What about you?
Checkmate was no Queen's Gambit. That's my chess reference for those of you. um, it, gosh, I wish I knew more about chess to just say you got the table ran on you or the board ran, but I hated this. I can honestly say it was 20 minutes of my life I wanted back. And this is how bad it is. I listened to it at first, just at home, just as we were doing this, just focusing on the music, right? Then I was like, oh God, no. The first time I tried to listen to it, I couldn't get through it. It gave, me and headaches. I'm prone to headaches. It doesn't take much, especially if I'm already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm like, this is giving me a headache. And I was like, ugh. So then I was in the car going on a drive, and I'm like, okay, 20 minutes, put it on. It couldn't even last the car drive. And my mind, I check out. Like, I'll be in the car listening to music, and then I just start, I can't even. This wasn't even thinking or driving music to me. It was so redundant. Like, and I get what you're saying. There are things that I can appreciate, and I appreciate everything you said about the rap line Racer. Like, I wanted to like the songs. I did. And I knew there was something about Itzy that was supposed to make them special. And I'm glad you mentioned the empowerment message, because I'm like, even though I had not previously been a big fan, I could say that for some reason this CD, it disappointed me, and you summed it up really well, I think. I did like Sneakers. Again, I didn't watch any of the performances. I will go back and check out the live one. Um, but yeah, everything was just so redundant. It sounded the same. It was the same song on a different slowed down or different versions or
Mm-hmm.
of the same beat, and it was too much. Um, I don't know what it was, but it was just like ugh. And then there's Domino, which I think is the best song on the album. Like, everything else was an overproduced nightmare. It was just, and Domino was like a breath of fresh air. I can't even. I did like the song, but I don't even know how much I focused on everything else of the song, just because it was something that I could actually sit there and listen to and appreciate. So from this from this album, I would recommend Domino. And that is it. And yeah, and I was like, okay, so this may be a group that I would have to go back and see what else they have to offer, because this album definitely was not it for me. It was a no. Like, this is not it. Yeah. So, what did you rate Checkmate?
So I rated Checkmate based on the different elements that they had that I wish they had focused on more. So Sneaker, the rap line in Racer, and the song Domino. So I gave it two popcorns. I think they have so much potential as a group, but I do know that the company doesn't focus as much on Itzy as they do on Twice, because Twice is the more successful K-pop girl group. I guess they can only focus on one group at a time. So yeah, two popcorns is what I gave it. It sounds like a K-pop girl group, but there's no special vibe there. They're missing the special vibe from this album. What about you?
I don't know what the fuck they're missing from this album besides something that is actually listenable. I gave it a Milan, 1.75 stars. It's a Milan for me.
Damn.
Um, and I hated doing that. Like, I really, really did. And like you say, the part that I did appreciate from Racer was the rap line. And it was just so much that I really could not concentrate on, or pick out. You know me, I can pick out something, I can pick out something good from something bad, but it was Domino. And I was like, I wish more of the album was like Domino, in the fact that it showcased, it gave me something to say, yes, this is where their potential is. Um, yeah, so if I had to introduce somebody to Itzy, it definitely would not be with this album at all. Um, so that takes us on to Purple Kiss. And their latest release, Geeky. Now, Purple Kiss, unbeknownst to me, because I've never, full disclosure, never heard of this group until you mentioned them. They've released two EPs within a period of about 3 months. The first one was in March, and that one was called Mimi. But it had 7 songs, and I'm just gonna say I liked it. I know we're reviewing Geekland, but I just took it.
Yay! They're one of my favorite new groups.
Oh, okay. I know we're reviewing Geekyland, but so I will come back to the story about Mimi in a moment, but I know the focus is on Geekyland, which just came out in July. It's about 6 songs, 15 minutes. And Purple Kiss, two of my favorite things. Purple's my favorite color, has nothing to do with BTS. Purple's always been my favorite color. And of course, there's nothing can beat a good kiss. So hey. What did you think about Geekyland from Purple Kiss?
So I am just gonna put out the disclaimer. Purple Kiss is one of my favorite late 4th generation K-pop groups. Absolutely love them. I've loved them since they debuted. One reason I paid attention to them is because they're in the same entertainment company as Mamamoo. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, let me see if, there's a certain element that goes into all these groups. And there definitely is. I think Purple Kiss has very, very strong vocals as well. I've heard them sing live as well as their performances. And so I've liked them from the jump. So I'm just going to say I may be a little biased on this compared to the other groups that I wasn't necessarily a fan of. But I love this album. I thought it was a great album that they came up with. There's 4 songs that I liked out of the songs that are there. I love Nerdy. Nerdy gives me like this Halloween-y like vibe to it. Like I'm waiting for a witch movie to come out and then to like play this as like she's like putting potions together or something like that. Like I don't know, but in my head I just see it like working for like a certain scene in a movie dealing with like Halloween or witches or something like that. I put it on one of my playlists as well. So that means I really, really loved it. Can't Stop Dreaming, just their talent alone, love it. Love is Dead. Love is Dead gave me like an 80s, 90s feel to it, like a very like playing on MTV when MTV used to play music videos kind of thing. Definitely gave me that vibe. And then of course Summer Rain. I just love their vocals. I think now, and their rap line's not too bad either, but their vocals are really good compared to a lot of other girl groups that are just kind of like there to look real good, but their talent isn't necessarily showcased as much. I think with Purple Kiss is definitely showcased. And another thing I love about this group that people may not notice, K-pop is really big on like extremely skinny girls. Like extreme, like skinny girls and boys. Like thin is in when it comes to K-pop. But Purple Kiss has their youngest member is a normal size. Like I love it. She can really, really sing, and she is a regular size or normal size. I don't know how to say that without it sounding. I guess does that sound bad or wrong? Like she's not like thin. Like she's not stick thin, which I really, really love. But yeah, that'd be me. Let me stop here. But yeah, what did you think of them, Maddie?
No, I should say you talk. No, what you said about the appearance is not. I've noticed that. Some of these people are way too thin for their body size. Yeah. And so it's and that part of the some of the vapidness, the shallowness, the vanity of K-pop really drives me crazy. I understand it's the entertainment industry
in general, though.
But yeah, so I understood what you were saying about that. I have not seen Purple Kiss. I don't really go look at a lot of performances or videos or anything like that. I try not to get And it's not because I don't like them. It's just because YouTube can become a time suck and I have so much other stuff to do. And I'll say, I'm taking a break and I'm just going to watch this video. And before I know it, I've spent the last 2 to 3 hours on YouTube and I've done nothing that I'm supposed to do. So I try to avoid it as much as possible. But I will say I'm glad you recommended Purple Kiss. I had never heard of them. They took the place of New Jeans, so I said we had to take off because they weren't going to have a full debut by the time we take this. So, and this is a group who knows who they are in a sense that they stand out. Like, yes, they're K-pop. Yes, they do certain things that are K-pop, but they're also Purple Kiss. They have their own identity. They're distinctive from all the other groups that we named today. So you can follow the formula, you can follow a recipe, but you can also spice it up and make it your own. You know, like who makes a recipe exactly as it is without adding their own? You might do it the first time and be like, oh, but I need to add this or I need to take this out. And that's what I'm looking for, is someone who stands out. And I agree with what you said. They had great vocals. Obviously, I loved them because it was Geekyland that I saw first. I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing Geekyland. And then just as I was going back listening again, I saw meme, or meme, whatever, and their first one. And I'm like, oh, okay, guess what? I'm going to listen to this too. And I loved it. And I wanted to listen to this again and again because I wanted to make sure I was hearing what I was really hearing, and that it wasn't just like, oh, after Itzy, after that shit show that was Itzy and Checkmate, anything would sound good. But it survived all my tests. Car tests, yes. Just putting it in my headphones, vibing, reading, working tests. Can I put it on test? Yes. Hey, I want to hear something. You know what? I really enjoyed Purple Kiss. Let me put it on. So Purple Kiss has made the rotation. Let me just say that. They are a group that's on the rotation. I haven't put them on any particular playlist because I make playlists that are just so long, but they're on a rotation. And they have been one of my favorite groups, I can honestly say. I loved Geekyland. For me, it was the no skips. I loved the intro by Bully. Nerdy was good. It was a cute, fun song, like you said. It's just like a bop. You could see it just, I haven't seen the video, so I don't know what it's like, but you could see it just having one of those crazy, silly videos and still being fun. Fire Flower, even though I said it was no skips, Fire Flower would probably be my least favorite. It was good. I was like, okay, cool. But Can't Stop Dreaming was probably my favorite song. Loved it. If I had to just pick one song and put it on a playlist for this series, or which, I'm still trying to figure out how to make the music for this, but it'll get done. I would probably pick Can't Stop Dreaming. Or someone said, you give me a Purple Kiss song, Can't Stop Dreaming. Love Is Dead gave me life. It's a vibe. I loved it. And Summer Rain. Okay, Summer Rain is the OST submission, but I mean that in a good way. This is a song that I could actually see, like, I love to write. So it's a song, and I love music when I write. So this is a song that I could see putting on a writing playlist for a particular episode or something, or a particular show. So in this case, this is a good OST song. I liked it. So not all OST songs are bad in 70s, 80s like rock. So this was actually one of the ones that I would put on, like, this is a Shonda Rhimes OST. Like Grey's Anatomy has some of the best.
Oh shoot,
songs.
That's high level right there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna say. This is a Shonda Rhimes like level OST. I know you did. Insecure had great songs too. So this is one of those type of OST songs. On one of those shows that just has some bomb ass music. So how would you rate Purple Kiss overall for this, or Geekyland?
I'm gonna be honest, one of the highest ratings I put out there. And not, this is like, I swear this is like my unbiased opinion, but I think this album was so good. It was really, really good, like on repeat good. So I gave it 4.25 popcorns. There's only one song that I really skipped, and that's Fire Flower. I agree with you on that. So I had to give it a good rating. Like almost every song, I put it on my playlist. I was repeating it over and over again. So 4.25 popcorn is what I'm giving Purple Kiss Geekyland. Can't wait for their next comeback. What about you, Eddie?
Yeah, I agree with you. I gave it a little bit lower. Overall, I give it a 4. No, I gave it a 3.75 actually. But I loved it, and I could move it up to a 4 the more I talk about it. But I want to see. I That's what I'm saying is I gave it a 3.75 because I listened to it after I listened to Itzy, and so I was just like, do I really like it that much, or is it just anything after that shit show would be palatable? But they are on my rotation. They are on my list. My ear is out. My eyes are open. If Purple Kiss is doing it, I'm gonna have to listen to it just because. They haven't quite made it to the point where they can do no wrong, and even if it's not great, then I'm still gonna be like, but it's Purple Kiss. I can't say they're there yet, but they are on a constant rotation. Like you can listen to them on repeat, and I am looking forward to more. And obviously, I listened to Me, whatever the first one was. And I am going to actually go and take some time and get sucked into the YouTube and watch some of their performances and stuff like that. So
you gotta listen to their debut album. Like I think it's one of the best debut albums out of the girl groups that we've rated today.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to it wasn't Meme or the one that came out in March?
No, that's their second album. This is their third album, Geekyland. Their first album, they came out last year.
Okay, I'll go back and listen to that. Like I said, this is a group that I will go back into the archives and listen to more from. I really liked what I heard. I really liked the Meme, and I listened to the whole thing, so it was great. All right. Well, that does it. Are we done? Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
So did you have a question? Your
recommend.
question.
All right, here we go. So, Eddie, would you recommend La Sserafim? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you recommend Aespa?
Yeah.
All right. Would you recommend Itzy?
Not after this, no.
Okay. Would you recommend Purple Kiss?
Definitely, above all else that I've heard today. Yes, I definitely would. If you told me now to give you a hint, if you said I could only recommend one of the groups that we reviewed for this episode, then it would definitely, hands down, without a doubt, be Purple Kiss. Everyone else would just have to take that L. But if you told me I could only go with one, it would be Purple Kiss. What about you?
So I wouldn't recommend La Sserafim. I want to see what they come out with next. Their debut was okay, but so that would be a no for me on them. I would recommend Aespa. I would not recommend Itzy, and of course, I would recommend Purple Kiss. Like I said, one of my favorite girl groups, even though they just debuted last year.
Yeah. So, all right. I guess that does it for this episode of our K-pop comeback special series. Be sure to like, listen, follow, and subscribe to wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, your favorite streaming service, because we international like that, y'all. And plus, I just got tired of mentioning all those places. We growing, doing big things, manifesting it. But please be sure to keep up with the latest in entertainment pop culture news daily at the Popcorn Wind Down with the Daily Wind Down. That's it. That's the plug. Pop, 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 pop. So stay tuned for next up in our K-pop series. Monsta X and ZICO, two of my favorites. I am excited to see what you thought about their latest comebacks. And ZICO's comeback is a comeback for real. So more of that on the next episode. Until then, I'm Eddie.
And I'm Tammy. Bye.
Peace.